What's going on, guys? Blank here, back with a new guide. Now in this guide I'll be explaining the top 5 tips to vastly improve your gameplay and hopefully help you guys increase your winning chance. Now once again guys, I'll be doing a giveaway. Just visit the link in the description to enter. Anyways guys, let's get this guide started. I see so many people just zone out and just sit there firing at their enemies for 5 minutes and just not even pay attention to anything around them. They tunnel vision, and what ends up happening is, well, they get killed from behind. Now, never assume you're alone. Always assume there's someone that has vision on you. If you're around a compound, then identify missing loot, any open doors, and just be more cautious. Stay close to cover and keep moving around, because one shot from a sniper can potentially take you out, and a shot to a head of a player standing still can be the one shot to bring you back to the lobby screen. Now, to add to this, it's very important to listen for footsteps and gunshots. Listening for directional gun sound can let you know approximately the area of where an enemy can be. This will allow you to avoid walking into death, or it will give you the upper hand against an enemy by sneaking up and being more cautious as you get closer to the gunshots. I'll show you guys a clip that involves listening, leaning, and moving while looting. Now, as you guys saw, I heard footsteps behind me. Next thing I do is proceed to loot him. What you also saw was that I was moving around while looting. Now, this potentially saved my life because he didn't have an accurate shot on me. I then proceed to find the closest cover and heal while listening closely. If he gets too close, depending on the time left on my heal, I would need to cancel and fight him. Luckily, he had his back turned as I peeked out. One more thing to add is to utilize leaning, as it will expose less of your body to him. Another thing I like to do while playing duo or squads is if I say the word comms. Now, what this means to my teammates is to stop talking in an instant. The reason I would say comms is because I have heard a faint footstep sound somewhere in the area I'm in, and I need everyone to stop talking to make sure I know if there's any enemies walking around. If it wasn't anything, I'll give them the cue to be able to speak again, but if it was potentially an enemy, I'll let my teammates know and I'll specifically wait until I have some backup before busting in. The last thing you want to do is ruin a game for your team because you wanted to be a hero and attempt to kill a squad of 4 or 2 by yourself. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is to make sure you're taking the time to kind of scan the area you're in every 20 to 30 seconds. Make sure you're close to cover as much as possible. This will allow you to avoid getting picked off. If you have been shooting at an enemy for the past few minutes, chances are there are more people around you that have heard these shots and they'll usually head towards them. So make sure to be aware and scan the area around you. Same goes for duos and squads. Have one dedicated teammate check your surroundings every few seconds if you and your squad members are busy firing at enemies. Vehicles are an awesome way to get around the map, but once you get closer to endgame, that vehicle is basically signaling to others to come kill you. After the first few circles have passed, it's time to ditch your vehicle and it's time to use your feet. This is where your awareness will be tested. I suggest once you get closer to endgame, you should find a little compound or town as close to the middle of the circle as you can. That way you have a better chance of not having to worry about making it into the circle on foot if it shifts. If you're playing the desert map and you have anything else but a motorcycle, then I suggest you avoid climbing the hills because you're just asking to get killed. The roads are a lot safer and faster to get around. You can build up speed if you're under fire. If this happens while you're climbing the hilltops, you're either going to have to get out and fight or you're already dead. So make sure to utilize the roads. It's not easy to build up speed on hills as they are super uneven, and you can also potentially get stuck and not even make it into the circle. Alright guys, so too many people panic when looting because they bust their load when looting an enemy or a crate with some insane gear. They end up dropping the wrong items or forgetting the ammo and end up having to run back and eventually run into their death. I've been in this situation multiple times in the past. You have to learn to be a quick and efficient looter. You don't need 9 first aid kits or 400 rounds of ammo unless you're very bad at the game. Nah, I'm just kidding guys, but really, don't take your enemy's whole damn loot box with you. Having a mindset of knowing that there will be more enemies you will kill as the game progresses is a good mindset to have. Trust me, you'll avoid many more deaths from not being so greedy or not panic looting. Now, when looting an enemy, make sure to always move around. You don't want to crouch or prone because you're much more of an easier target to hit. Moving around and getting shot will likely allow you to escape enemy gunfire with some health left. The next thing I want to talk about is dying in the blue zone because you just did not have enough loot. Last thing you want to happen is you loot for 20 minutes and get some sick loot and then just die because you couldn't find a car or you flipped yours and end up losing your hard-earned loot to the blue zone. Guys, play the circle ahead of time. Make sure to find a vehicle after you find enough gear to protect yourself, then you can peacefully continue looting. Get into fights as much as possible to practice your aim. If you just sit around and wait until there are 10 people left, guess what? You're gonna eventually need to fight someone, and if you aren't comfortable under pressure, well, you're gonna have a bad time. You have to get out of your comfort zone and just engage in your enemies. You have to build up your playstyle, guys. You'll vastly improve your aim and just your game sense on how to outplay your opponents. Now, if you want to improve, land in populated areas to get started. Don't loot for 20 minutes and then engage in combat. Find a few weapons you're comfortable with and go fight some enemies. Do this every single day, multiple times, and you'll slowly build up the skills you need to stay comfortable. And it will just help you learn how to use certain weapons better and how to play out certain situations. Remember, the point of this is not to win the game. The point of this is to kill as many enemies as you can comfortably. Do this every day for the first few games you launch Battlegrounds before getting serious and going for the win. It'll just help you warm up and play with confidence. Over time, you'll build the skills you need to outplay your opponents. Now, what I want to add on to this is learn to keep your enemies guessing. If you shoot from one spot, try to change your position. Sometimes the enemy will still be waiting for you to pop out from the same angle. And if you switch your angle, the enemy will have to adjust his crosshair, not giving him an accurate shot on you. You can usually get away with getting in the first few shots too. One more thing to add is to remember to utilize the lean function behind walls and trees. The lean function is an absolute must to be using. It'll vastly improve how you play. It'll give less body parts for your enemies to shoot at, making it harder for them to get any hits off. I can honestly say I've gotten a lot better by just getting used to the lean function, so I'll help you guys quickly set it up. Now, if you have played Call of Duty before and you have had your aim down sights to hold instead of click, then the setup I'm going to be showing you is the perfect setup. So go into controls and then make sure ADS is set to right mouse button, and then go into gameplay and make sure ADS is set on hold and not toggle. Then make sure peek is on toggle. Now it'll be much easier to utilize the lean function. You can turn the corner and click E or Q to lean and hold right click to aim in. You might be a little rusty at first, I sure was, but over time you will develop the mind and muscle connection and you'll just do it and not think about it. Now I talked a little bit about this not too long ago. I want to expand on this even more. Become a better player also means to think like one. If you hear anyone around you, try getting some help from your teammates. You'll have a better chance of all of you surviving by working together in a close proximity. By just including this in your mindset, you guys will have a much higher percentage of staying in the game longer, and potentially even winning it by just working together. It's such a simple thing to do, but I rarely see it happen, and the result is one person dying from the squad and you guys end up leaving the game because you don't have all 4 alive. And the process repeats over and over and over, and then by the end of the day you probably got into a top 10 situation once. If you're watching this video alone, make sure to talk to your teammates about this mindset. Tell them to wait for you to get closer before they bust into any sort of action. It's a simple mindset but super effective. Well, this concludes the guide. I hope I've helped some of you guys out, and in return, a like and a sub would be insanely awesome from you guys. I'll keep at it with these videos and expect to see some pretty weekly guides. Anyways guys, thank you for watching.